But China's Belt and Road Initiative is basically their plan to pretty much take over the whole world in a way. So, one of the largest infrastructure initiatives ever created is China's Belt and Road Initiative, also known as the New Silk Road. The large variety of investments and development programs, which President Xi Jinping initially launched in 2013, would stretch from East Asia to Europe, which considerably boost China's economic and political dominance. As the cost of many of the projects have skyrocketed, heavy criticism has grown in some countries. Some analysts even view the project as a disturbing extension of China's already expanding influence. Meanwhile, the Belt and Road Initiative could serve as a Trojan horse for Chinese led regional development and military expansion, which is causing a lot of worry for some in Asia. And if you don't know what a Trojan horse is, it's basically something that appears to be innocent or good at first, but once fully accepted, it has the power to harm or destroy. So think of it like a computer program that kind of seems helpful, but once you download it, it actually ends up destroying your entire computer. So G's vision is for a large network of roads, energy pipelines, railways, and border crossings would be built that would extend south to Pakistan, India, and the rest of Southeast Asia, as well as west across the mountainous former Soviet republics. According to Xi, such a network would remove the bottleneck in Asian connection and increase the use of China's currency abroad. China aims to create 50 special economic zones. At the Association of Southeast Asia Nations meeting in 2013, Xi basically outlined the plans for the 21st century maritime Silk Road in Indonesia. China would invest in port construction around the Indian Ocean from Southeast Asia all the way to East Africa and parts of Europe to accommodate for growing sea trade flow. Morgan Stanley has predicted China will spend roughly 1.2 to 1.3 trillion dollars on this project by the year 2027. And yes, that's trillion with a T. China's initiative is driven by both geopolitical and economic reasons. Slow growth and tense economic relations with the United States have put pressure on the government to create new markets for its products, and Xi has pushed a vision of a more assertive China. For Xi, the BRI, or the Belt and Road Initiative, is a method for China to expand its export markets, create new investment opportunities, increase domestic consumption, and push back against the widely discussed United States pivot to Asia. China now aggressively strives to influence international institutions and practices under Xi and forcefully assert its presence on a global scale. China is also driven to strengthen ties between its historically underserved Western regions and the rest of the world economically, in addition to securing long-term energy supplies from Central Asia and the Middle East. So concerns about China's intentions were expressed by the United States and other nations, a long-standing American objective that became more important following the start of the American-led war in Afghanistan and President Barack Obama's pivot to Asia, is the development of South and Central Asian economies. India has made an effort to persuade countries that the Belt and Road Initiative is part of a strategy to rule Asia, warning against what some analysts have nicknamed a quote-unquote string of pearls, which is a geo-economic strategy in which China burdens its neighbors in the Indian Ocean with unmanageable debt in order to then gain control of key choke points in that region. And then, although Russia initially reacted cautiously to Xi's announcement of this initiative, they have then since become one of the Belt and Road Initiative's most enthusiastic partners. Russia was concerned that China's plans will potentially get in the way of their goal for a Eurasian economic union. However, Vladimir Putin has pledged to tie his vision to the Belt and Road Initiative as Russia's relations with the West have gotten a lot worse. Such an alliance between the two could be devastating to the global economy. Some analysts have said China and Russia working together on a European and Asian takeover sounds extremely dangerous on paper, and this is actually exactly the reality that is actively playing out right now. China is now utilizing its connections with Saudi Arabia as well to partner on energy and funding, which I did make a video on recently. You can check out in the top right corner of the video. But China is aiming to become the #1 superpower in the world. And once they fully take over India and then utilize Saudi Arabia to take over the Middle East, all while having alliance with Russia as they take over more land like they're doing in Ukraine, the rest of the world will be in some serious trouble. It's also worth noting that China has heavy investments in Africa and the future of African technology, but I think I'll save that one for another video. But that's pretty much the basis of this initiative that China has launched like almost 10 years ago now. It's a slow process that is actively being played out in a very subtle way. Most people actually have no idea on what they're planning. But if you have paid attention to this Russia-Ukraine war, China has sided with Russia on a lot of things. And then just recently, China has deepened their partnership with Saudi Arabia in the oil and energy sector. So this plan is actively being played out, whether you know it or not. But I hope you did find some value out of this. Hopefully you learned something new that you didn't know. But yeah, be sure to drop a comment on what you think about this. Also, I appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe for more information.